When you see through the illusion of separation, every moment becomes sacred. Welcome to Energy Alignment for Entrepreneurs, the podcast helping entrepreneurs be free from anxiety, stress, and tension through balancing emotions and consciousness expansion. 3 things you'll discover today. How one shift in awareness transforms everything. Why clarity is always closer than you think, and what to do when your life feels extremely fragmented. Now, with the quote, when you see through the illusion of separation, every moment becomes sacred. This, if we lead with a story, it's almost as if what would be the illusion of separation in practical life? And the story is really, we'll look at something that happened on a walk lately. And on this walk, my girlfriend's mom was touching on how she recently just started to have song lyrics begin to pop into her head without effort, without force, without intention. And the context is that I heard her say that was what she always loved, singing, writing music. And obviously, she must have gotten away from that because in the story she was sharing, it was a surprise to her. It was a beautiful thing for her to have these insights come into her mind again. And I hinted like, hey, you must be doing something right if your intuition, if you're flowing in that manner and you're able to get those insights that happen beyond thought, right? It's one thing to take notes, to be organized, to be sharp, to look good, to groom yourself, to groom your dogs, to vacuum the house. The list goes on, right? It's one thing to put the house in order practically. It's another thing to have the space for intuition, to have the space for creativity. You know, as I walked into the door to jujitsu today, I don't know exactly what I said, but one of my friends, he made a comment that I was bringing the notebook, the pen. And I said, you know what? Very naturally, I didn't force this. I wasn't trying to teach him. It just came out naturally. And I told him, you know, the less that you have to be bound by your memory and your thought, the more space you have to be creative. And in jujitsu, my edge is not being technical. I'm learning. I'm getting more and more technical. I've been a blue belt for a few months. I'm learning. But my edge in jujitsu has always been the same edge that I had in football, the same edge that I've had in life. And this is that sort of creativity, that spaciousness. The problem is with intuition is too many of us are not locked in. We're not sharp, we're not honest. I'm not speaking about me, maybe younger me. Yes, younger me. And of course, I'm not saying I'm perfect either. Right now, today, I still have moments where things feel like a coaster. But in noticing how I play a role in my own roller coaster, then I realize, oh yeah, there's a balance to life, right? Too spacious, no one believes you. And I don't want people to believe me, but no one takes you seriously. No one sees you as someone to listen to. You become someone like Andy Elliott. You know, sales, sales. That's his identity. You know, he's formed his life around being a salesman. Now, when I bring up the name Andy Elliott, understand that I'm not judging him. I'm observing how he puts a certain energy out into the world. And based on the Bible, in the religious books, every religious book hints at this, maybe in different phrasing. But the fact is that we are creators. And what the religious text, what they say is that your tongue gives you away. Your tongue gives you away. And what I'm saying here about Andy Elliott, again, he's not a bad guy. Salespeople are not evil. He's just very attached to an identity that has been formed via limitation, via knowledge, experience, and memory. See, he lacks that spaciousness. I'm not saying he can't get it. not saying he doesn't have moments with it. I'm not saying he doesn't know how to flow. The man is not a bad guy. It's just you can feel if someone is always showing up in a certain way that is obvious that they have a attachment to an accolade, a status, a title, which all forms the identity, right? Who am I, Justin Agliscus? The sense of self, the me, the I. See, what we're talking about here is seeing through the illusion of the separate sense of self, all whilst still being honest that you have a sense of self, not falling into non-dual buffoonery, because that is, again, the other extreme, right? One extreme is the attachment to accolades, money, etc., the material realm. The other extreme is acting as if non-dual Christianity, Buddhism, Islam. If you are attached to a specific path, you will never find the truth. And that is a fact. Now, you can't argue with it. If you are attached to a specific path, you will never have the space to invite truth into your being. That is the fact. Don't believe me. Don't disagree with me. Don't agree with me. Just sit with that because it's a fact. Truth is truth. Now, that doesn't have to do anything with my opinions. I don't care when you see that. I don't care if you see it. I don't care if you don't see it. What I'm saying is that facts are facts. And there is not a single path besides the path that is written on your heart. See, and this is what I'm talking about. The ability or the letting go, whatever you want to call it, maybe in sometimes it's a capacity, and other times it's the letting go of capacity that creates the space for you to learn. Learning and memorization are not the same thing, okay? That doesn't mean you don't need knowledge. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't have memorization. If you don't have memory, you don't know your address to drive home at night. So obviously, I'm speaking of integration and embodiment. And if you hear me, if you resonate with this, or if you don't even understand me, but you know that you need to listen to this, see, I'll tell you a story, right? Because this is exactly what happened with one of the mentors who I never met in direct reality. He was actually passed away before he was a mentor to me. So that shows you where we're at. But all at the same time, I listened to him without understanding what he was saying, but I couldn't help but listen to him. I knew what he was saying was of importance to my life, to this world. And I didn't grasp it until I started to learn how to hear. See, this is the essence of the religious text, parables, metaphors, language beyond the logical world. The problem with religious text is that mind takes it too literally, right? And that's how you get attached to, the example would be the end times in the Bible, right? If you actually are thinking about that, then you're not going to integrate the essence of the Bible, of the book itself. You see, it's one thing to act in alignment with truth. It's another thing to have an idea and follow that idea, which is you're going to be truthful. No, the idea is not truth. Truth is in your heart, okay? Truth is beyond your logic. Truth is something that you can notice only when you feel when you're not in alignment with truth. You don't seek truth, you see how you're out of alignment, and that guides you. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I know it's not practical, but at the same time, it's the most practical thing I could ever tell you. It's the most genuine and realistic word. What I'm saying right now is utterly so important. And if you try to chase truth, you're chasing your own tail. You're not going to get it. You won't. So I digress there. Let's look at how one shift in awareness transforms everything. Okay? What does that mean? It's essentially in your practical life, right? For me, I notice that 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. are usually the hardest times within my waking hours. Why? I don't know exactly. That's just something I've observed over my life. Sometimes it's because I'm overworking and not eating enough. Sometimes it's because I'm on an 8-hour shift or something, and I'm just like, man, I know this isn't going to be what I'm doing for the rest of my life, but I know this is where I'm meant to be right now. And there's that awareness of, man, okay, I don't want to be here, but I have to be here. So let's figure out how to enjoy being here. Yeah. Yeah. That's really what it sounds like. And you notice that and you learn how to let go. It's so real practically, like notice the times in your day where you falter because depending on where you're at, especially if you listen this far into the video, and here's a little reminder, I digress. If you made it this far in this video, that means that you're at least catching on to something. Now, I don't know where exactly you're at, but ultimately, right, you clean up your physical, that helps you clean up your psychological, and then you have the space for the religion and the spirituality. You see, hopefully that makes sense. But if you're like overweight, ingesting terrible food, not sleeping right, not working out, not getting sunlight, the odds that your psychological is messed up is going to raise, right? The odds that you're judgmental, insecure, living through fear, clouded decision making, all that increases if your physical isn't right. So if you get your physical right, then you can dismantle your limiting beliefs, your psychological worldviews, your attachments, your self-made identities, your preconceived notions, the limitations that we put ourselves in, right? So physical, then psyche, then the energy that was used to be wasted in the physical and the psychological confusion, it has to go somewhere. So it leads you to religion, it leads you to spirituality, not attaching to Christianity, Islam, or Buddhism, or Sufism, or a religion that I did not label. It's not that. Like if you think meditation's the only way, you're wrong. If you think weightlifting's the only way, you're wrong. If you think screaming, for example, what's the proper phrase? The silent scream, right? Letting out trapped emotions in your physical vessel. I just did a quick little silent scream. That, like, they're all tools, but there's not a single tool that is going to bring you to truth if you're attached to it. So you have to learn how to, like, okay, do some meditation, drop that. Do some weightlifting, maybe do it less, do it more. Same thing with meditation. I'm not saying stop meditating. That's how my path worked. But then I'm meditating again. So it's like you do something, you see how it affects you, you change, right? Just as nature changes. This is how you learn. This is how you really learn. The hard part about Eve is that you'll find something that makes you feel secure and it feels good. But the next level is in dropping the things which make you feel secure. And then you might pick them back up again in a more spontaneous, natural, intuitive way, but not through forced discipline, right? Forced discipline isn't the answer. Now, consistency in certain things is important, right? For example, if I were to work all day, sit in this office, not move, not drink water, not get sunlight, not play with my dog, like that's not it, you know? So balance, baby. Okay? Balance. Now, why clarity is always closer than you think? Well, it's pretty much what I'm saying right here. Whereas it starts with that one shift in awareness, right? And then clarity can come any moment. You just start to realize, oh, wait, I'm scrolling, right? You stop scrolling, then you might get clear if you go work out. It's almost like the sooner that you can stop the stagnation, the sitting still, the rumination, the low frequency action in the dual realm, the sooner you can notice that, the faster you're going to be able to have that awareness pop in and clarity come back in, right? That's how it works. Don't believe me? Go do it and then see how it works. That's how you learn. You can learn through listening to this video, but you're not going to integrate the insight without going and doing it. See, insight plus embodiment is learning. Maybe I should write that down. Insight plus embodiment is learning. I like that. Now, what to do when life feels fragmented? Hey, it's not always easy. It really isn't always easy. And I just coughed. I digress. So it's not easy. And when life feels fragmented, we need to have a pattern break. There's going to be so many forms of pattern breaks. But first of all, it always starts with awareness. You will never change something you're not aware is needing to change, right? But then you're aware that your life feels fragmented. Okay, where do you go then? It all starts with asking that question after noticing, oh yeah, something needs to change. Something isn't right. Something is out of alignment, not in congruency. Then you ask the question, all right, well, where do I go now if my life feels fragmented? And then that's going to show you intuitively, take out the pen and paper, write down the things that your consciousness points at, the things that your consciousness shines light on. Because it's all there. The moment you ask a good question, you'll get the answers in your heart. Then you just need to have the capacity, the awareness to notice the heart's intuition guiding you, like, oh, yeah, probably drop that. Oh, yeah, probably don't do that. And now you may be able to change and let go immediately, and other things may take a little bit of rewiring. But when I say that, don't limit yourself to thinking that time is necessary. Sometimes things take time, and other times things happen instantaneously. All right. So consider both of those. Now, recap, the one shift in awareness, it can happen instantly. Really. It's not like profound, and at the same time, it is profound. Now, why clarity is always closer than you think? Well, yeah, right. Your state of being changes when you change practically. And what to do when your life feels fragmented? Well, hey, just noticing it is a win. If you can notice and ask that question and then pen paper and be honest with yourself, you will get the answers, you will get the insights. Then it's up to you to execute or to conflict yourself into a point where you have to change. Really. That's what I got for you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for listening. Like, you will have a great day. Big hug. Let's go. Teamwork. And, if you want to learn more, click the link in the description below. You'll get all the details on how I can potentially help you be free from anxiety, stress, and tension so you can stop feeling empty inside, so you can build the best body of your life ever. And so you can attract the relationship of your dreams or create the relationship that you're in currently into something more harmonious, something clearer, something where you're showing up as the best version of you and your partner catches on to that. Really, that's how things change. That's how it works. Don't believe me? Speak soon. Love you.